You played a lot yesterday. Actually, let me ask you first about injuries because this morning you were icing,
Yeah,
icing your hand.
right. I have to be careful. I forgot to do my stretches so much. I'll show you this stretch. If you just kind of put your hand even against a wall and just do this upward stretch, that's really great for the tendons. And I hurt myself when I was in my late 20s. I got tendonitis, and so once you get it once, it tends to want to recur.
Yeah, I have it right now. And
Yeah.
it hurts me just watching you do that. I can't do that with this hand at all.
Oh, so the extension kind of stretches, both directions are great before and after you play.
Yeah.
And also this one where you when you're playing guitar, you're clenching in all the time, so you do the opposite motion, pulling out, and so I pull out with my fingers.
Oh, yeah.
So
you're holding them in,
holding
but pushing them
in,
out.
or take a rubber band.
Yeah.
Just put it around
Yeah.
there.
A little isometric type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
Keeping your
that's
hands
the,
in good shape.
Yep,
That's important for guitar players.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the last couple of weeks I've been wearing a wrist brace but it's like right in here what's bothering me. I'm not sure. I know, I should call a doctor.
Yeah, well, there's I found a myotherapy. It's a muscle therapy. Acupressure massage has been great for that. So if you can find a myotherapist.
Yes, I do know somebody that is in that world. Yeah, so kind of, or that knows people in that world. So, and I want to ask you a little bit about, nails now too. Well,
Yes.
because you just had a nail catastrophe.
Oh, right.
And people ask me about this all the time. And I was just telling you the other night that if I tried to do this tour schedule that you do, I could last about 2 days. And then I'd have to come up with a plan, whether it's fake nails or something, because they're hard, but they can't do 2 hours a day for a week.
Yeah, well, with steel string, that's true.
Yeah.
So I found two things. One is I get these luthier cloth nail files, and so it's just different grades of sandpaper,
Okay.
up to 8,000.
Oh man, yeah.
So it gets
like
really,
silk.
really finer than most. And so just getting the very edge of that nail so smooth that it won't catch on anything.
Yeah.
I can play steel string actually, and not wear away the nail as much. But but then I have to stop and redo, resand it at least with the fine.
Yeah.
After so many tunes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Couple times a day.
Anytime I'm performing, I've always got a set of them like right there next to me. I'll bring a few little tools up and stuff because if I play 3 songs or something, I can they start getting ragged, and I call it sharpening them basically because you're kind of making a pointed end on if it's a blunt end, you'll keep ripping it up.
Yeah,
so
it has to be rounded.
It has to be rounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and almost like a razor almost. I mean, not that sharp, but still has to have. Yeah. So,
it's a stronger edge when it's rounded instead of square.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, they tend to get more brittle.
Sure.
And so I should probably oil them more or put hoof cream on them or something. Keep them a little stronger. And so this one broke, and so I've got a press-on nail, and I much prefer press-on nails to acrylics or the old silk and crazy glue kind of repairs, because they allow your nail to grow underneath and undamaged, and only the kind of press-on nails that has the glue already on the nail. I think Kiss makes them.
Okay.
They used to make them a little stronger. Now they're making them with a little softer material, so it's not quite as strong, as quite as much like the real nails they used to be. But they still work, and so they'll stay on for nearly a week.
Oh.
If I just rough up the surface just slightly
Oh,
with the file,
and
and then put it on, and that's it. And then sand the edge like I do with my regular nails. So that's my current solution.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm ready to try it. I think if I start playing much more. So, we should probably play something. We've been chatting for like 10 minutes here or something.
Okay.
And I had asked you about. Well, this will no more turn into like showing me how to play something. You okay with that now?
Sure.
Okay, because I've toyed with doing a lesson on Close to You. And when I first thought about this about a year ago, I thought, I think I have a video of you playing this sometime. I thought, I'll go check out her video. And then now that you're here, I thought, why don't you show me how to play it?
Okay.
Okay, what do you remember
Sure.
about it? Because you used to even sing this a little bit.
Oh, I
It was
did.
always like half-heartedly and not like top to bottom with all the verses, I don't think.
No.
But it was always just having fun.
Yeah, I just get the audience to sing along a little bit sometimes. But I haven't
Yeah.
played it for a while. I'd forgotten I was doing that. It's a nice arrangement. And the thing about the arrangement that really intrigued me was the piano part. Because the piano part's going chunk, chunk, chunk. Yeah, and I could almost see his fingers doing this. You know, just getting... it's not really staccato, not legato. It's kind of, you know, chunk, 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 chunk. It's stopped. So I worked on kind of getting that sort of a feel, brushing almost with two fingers, and then coming back to rest on that. Yeah, and that. So that's what I really wanted to capture.
Yeah. So it's a little softer attack than this.
Right, and it's coming back and resting those fingers
Yeah.
while Karen Carpenter sings freely over the top. So while you get kind of a free sound over the top and
Yeah.
the stopped sound in the middle. So that's the real challenge. Of
Okay.
this. And the intro starts with this line, and then everything is kind of ringing over. So there's, yeah, you got it, index, and then those
Right.
two. And then I get the next note as a harmonic, only so that it can ring over everything
Okay.
else.
So for an A,
I didn't
an A.
have enough fingers to find that note, so I found it as a harmonic.
Okay.
So it's my last fret on my guitar.
Right, that'd be the 19th, I think, on mine. Yeah.
And then I'm still right there.
Oh, so that just replaces the G that you've been playing here.
Right. So
I see.
right. So I'm it's the third string and then
Right.
the top two, and now this time the harmonic on the fifth string, and then my
Oh, and
fingers
then
move
the
over to
middle
the
strings.
second
Okay.
and third
Right.
strings.
Got it. Oh, and then you're doing the harmonic.
Yeah, I get it with my
Oh,
thumb
you
and
do thumb
index,
now. Yeah,
so
that's
that I
better-
can keep
better
these
approach,
two
right.
fingers.
And then these two fingers are
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
Now here I changed my fingers.
Okay, your second.
So that I need my ring finger free because it's gonna do a
Oh.
little pull off there. Good, and then the harmonic,
And then the same. Got
And
it.
then-
Okay.
then the same thing. Right. And
Okay.
then,
That's really nice.
yeah, and then the last two notes are normal. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've got a C9, C add 9. So this is where, that's my first
Oh, you did
little,
right in.
so I pluck them all together, and then I've got that little
Right, little brush.
brush that stops.
On the two
That's
middle
my
strings.
first one of those. And then I go to the bass.
Got it.
Oh, sorry, that's not the one. No, it's just the E suspended, and then
Oh, so
to
it's-
B7.
Yeah. So this is almost acting more as a B suspended.
Right.
Right.
It's
B7
quite-
sus. Yeah. Let's go to B.
Yeah, there's a B minor. Yeah. Yeah, so let's do that much. And brush. Sus, then to B. And
Oh, you're
I'll
doing
do
it,
it this
okay.
way, the jazz way.
Right. Do E minor 7. So we went from the minor 7 to minor,
Right.
just to change the D to an E. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And then now this is a C6
C9, yeah.
6-9. So this
That's great. So you're keeping the
index
motion
finger
going
coming
from the G.
up,
The G and the A are going back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll do that again. And then
Oh, so you got the F.
yeah,
You got a G and an E and a D.
yeah. There's
Ah.
a nice little chord.
Oh, this is the intro to the second line or the next line.
Close to
Right.
you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, sus, B7, B minor, great. And here I like to do a B minor, but leaving the third string open.
With the G in there. Yeah.
Kind of and then, so there's
nice.
that little bass player go.
Right.
You can
And then here's
almost
the
hear him
second
going.
line.
Boom, da, pa, pa, boom.
Yeah.
You can hear the kind of string bass going.
Yeah.
That brings you back in.
Right. And the second phrase.
Then this is the same. C 6/9. And then it goes to G7, but with the B in the bass.
Okay.
And now
Might be
it
too
goes
much in there,
to On the Day That You Were
Yeah.
Born. And I heard that even Karen Carpenter refused to sing that at first because she just thought it was so dippy there, that line. And
Wow.
So
Yeah.
and I think it's, it's kind of like a children's thing. Da, 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 da,
Yeah,
da,
yeah.
da.
It was a little
And
sing-songy
so
nursery rhyme.
to kind of undipify it, I do that as harmonics.
Oh.
So
Oh, so that's just all over a C chord.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it just to do something more interesting there when the melody's not doing anything really interesting.
You stay. Oh, you go.
Right.
Got it.
Just all
Right, keeping the just
rotating bass here.
Alberti bass, as they
Yeah.
call it in piano world. Right?
Oh. Then roll into the B minor segment.
A minor.
And then open. Excellent. And then this is where that little piano goes.
Oh yeah, a little tinkling.
Diddle it up. So, and just to get that sound, I just play it a little softer in volume. That's all you need to do to make it sound like that little piano thing. Diddle-boom, diddle-boom. And
Oh, you're
Right.
landing on both Ds, or
right.
Right.
So it's just a double pull off.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's so easy to do and just sounds so cool right
Yeah.
there. Just
Yeah.
diddle-dum, diddle-dum. And then you're back to
And then you're the next one. Yeah.
back to. You learn remarkably quickly. Yeah. You're just so.
Well, I spend a lot of time putting together things like this,
Yeah.
right? And so it's really just a matter of deciding what you want to have in there. And I tell students, you have to have a solid grip of three things at least: the melody, the bass line, and then the other stuff. Whatever else you want to throw in. Like if you want to have this, if you want to have that
Yeah.
happening while you're doing. And have that going on in the
Right.
bass. Then you worry about the melody. So many many times you are trying to assemble a lot of parts.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of students have trouble keeping them separate. It's like, I just remember my fingers do this, and then this one moves here, and then this one moves here, and they don't quite have the idea of what's happening linearly in that
Right.
in that
That
melody.
the piano player is doing this in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's the singer doing the top line. Right?
Yeah.
And kind of keeping
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. So, well, that's great. I think I have enough of it to put a lesson together on it now.
Oh, good, good.
'Cause, and plus I have video of it.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't have to now. People can just watch this and they can learn it themselves.
You should do it a little slower because not
Probably.
everyone picks up quite
Okay.
as quickly as you do.
Well,
you know.
okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll break it down a little bit more. I
Okay.
think, but that's actually what I love doing with lessons, is really explaining each different part to people. I'm working on this lesson that you've heard me play way too many times lately, and I was trying to think, well, I'm trying to do it better than the guy that really did it, as we've talked about before. But mostly just cleaning it up. Like if I had written it, what I would do fingering wise to make it. To make the notes ring better and stuff like that. And it included a lot of times, all of a sudden it's turning in, now I'm really excited about this lesson, because there are times where you're going to change fingering on a note you're already holding down. You're going to switch another finger in there, and you might need to keep it ringing like while you do that. Or you're going to switch a finger just before, you've been holding it for a while, and then just before, in order to do a slide from it to something else, it has to be a different finger. So I have a lesson on a Pink Floyd song. That on one hand is a very simple little arpeggio thing,
Yeah.
right? But many times the last note in one arpeggio or one measure is played with a finger that then has to be the first one of the next measure.
Right.
And so I have like the way it was played on the record, like for example, like this note being the last one there, and then they jump to this, so
Right.
this note gets cut off.
Yeah.
You know, so in my lesson I do show people the easy way to do it, which is not as good sounding, you know. But if you want to try like the advanced version, you do stuff like this,
With the pinky. Yeah.
and then you switch this finger, then you switch that one.
Yeah. So
You
they
know,
all ring.
So they all ring. So you've made like 7 changes over 3 chords in order to make it more efficient. That's called "Is There Anybody Out There?" But so people out there that know my lessons that's what, if you want to take a look at that, it's a good example of, as opposed to like the first finger picking thing I want people to learn. I even do this with House of the Rising Sun. When I'm teaching a beginner this, or even an advanced player this, you know, on one hand it's very easy to do all this stuff, slap these chords down and that, but I always use this as an excuse to learn to put your fingers down in the order you're going to play them. And so when it goes like to the D chord, I tell them, don't do this, do this. And the F chord, learn to do this, which is
Right.
way counterintuitive.
Yep.
You know, you think, oh, I gotta get this first, you know, but you gotta learn to play, put your fingers down in the order you gotta play them.
Right. It's like in my composition Arioso. That's actually a very difficult composition to play. It's a slow tune, but part of what makes it is letting the notes ring out in the right way. In order to do that, you have to do some pretty weird fingerings. You know, on these.
You up to it?
Let's see.
Or a little of it?
See, I move this up,
Okay.
and then this one down,
Right, so this one was kept ringing while you moved up there, and then
Right.
it shot up later. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
so then. So all those. I'm doing this real slow.
Yeah.
So a lot of it you're scrunching in and then stretching out and scrunching
Yeah.
and stretching out. So in time. So on.
Yeah.
So even though it moves that slowly, doing that to scrunch in addition to the dynamics,
Right.
are what makes
Oh,
the song. And
every-
without, the way I first played it was without dynamics, and then it wasn't music,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then
Just punching the keys.
yeah, and then adding the dynamics and the scrunching and stretching
Yeah.
turns it into the piece. And so
Yeah.
it's funny the way that these little details are what makes the music.
Yeah, yeah. I had to do a little bit of a rearranging. I did a lesson on cavatina a couple of years ago, and there are parts of that a lot of people, I can't, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to remember exactly what I'm talking about right now, but I came up with a couple of fingerings that I had not seen anybody else ever try in order to hold some notes down and stuff, because like even John Williams' original of it was 2 guitars, you know, and so then he had to come up with his own solo version to start playing, right? But it was a really fun project, kind of approaching that kind of from ground zero and saying, God, there's a part in there I just don't like the way it sounds with everybody I've ever seen play it. But anyway, enough of that. I dropped that one for now. But I was really, really happy with what I found. It came up with cavatina. I just have not played it in a couple of years, so it's long gone. But I've got a video of it, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, I think we got all that. I want to ask you just about 2 more things.